the PhD students, this episode is for you, okay? So today we'll be talking about the top 5 countries for PhD education. The top 5 countries for PhD education, and why? Why have we said that these countries are the top 5 countries? So thank you very much for joining us in this live training. So one thing I want you to know is PhD is the program that you go for after your master's. So usually people finish high school or secondary school, depending on what it is called in your city or your state or your country, you know. And then from there you are often, some people may go for a postgraduate diploma, but most times people also go for masters direct. Immediately after their masters, what happens? These persons eventually go for PhD. Okay, so PhD is not for everybody, but if you're thinking of PhD, it's a good thing. Okay, it's a good thing because it has its opportunities as well, like job opportunities. It makes you an expert in your field and all that. So definitely I would say if you want to go for PhD, it's a good thing. So today we're talking about the 5 countries for PhD education and why. Of course, my name is Dr. Linda Iheme. So I'm a dentist, but also I'm an educational consultant, and that's the cap I'll be wearing while talking to you right now. And as I said, we're going to be dealing with these 5 countries, and we're going to start with the 5th one. And I will tell you the country, and then I'll tell you why I have labeled it so. Okay? So the 5th one. So the 5th one is, guess the country I'm going to write. It starts with a G, huh? So yes. Oh yeah, Germany. Germany is the 5th country. These ratings are by me and my company, right? Because we've been handling a lot of students that are coming for PhD. So you are not an exception. You are not an exception. Germany is a good place, a good country for you to do your PhD. Why? Because yes, there are scholarship opportunities, a lot of scholarship opportunities. So it's very possible for you to do your master's in your PhD in Germany, and it is all fully sponsored. But in addition, okay, so Germany also has free free education, though you have to take care of your living expenses. This is supposing your PhD is not funded or is not on scholarship. Germany is running almost like free education. Okay, so this makes it easier for you to fund your education in case you don't have any scholarship opportunity. Okay, of course there are other better countries, right? But Germany is a great place to go to. So if you're thinking of your PhD, I will say include Germany in the countries you're going to actually search. Okay, I myself, I've been to Germany before. That I did my PhD there. I went to Berlin to be precise, and I went for World Health Summit. This was somewhere around 2014, 2013, one of those two. So I went for a World Health Summit and I went to Germany. So start with a 1 year or 4 months or 8 months period where they are just learning German, and at the end of their study, then they at the end of them learning German, then they can go on to start their main program. So I called it number 5th. I called it 5th position because why? Not everybody wants to learn a new language, and even learning a new language is not easy, right? So it's like people know, well, Germany is good, but then I don't want to learn a new language. Totally okay, I understand. This is why I myself have ranked it number 5. Okay, so now let's go to the 4th one. Make a guess. So the 4th country is UK. I hope you can see me. My other stuff fell. UK. So this is the same category with other European countries. So I'm going to write Europe in small Europe, right? So mostly, but here in Europe. Because UK also has a very vibrant educational system, okay, with a lot of schools. So it is also very possible for you to study in UK. If you are thinking of, I've had students who got full funding from UK for PhD program, okay, and this particular lady, she studied in Nigeria, then she went to China to do her masters, and I remember specifically she was looking for PhD supervisor in Germany. Sorry, not Germany, in Canada. But because her area was a very niche area, and she eventually decided to check the UK, and she got a supervisor. Guess what? The supervisor was super excited to have her, and so definitely you want to check UK. A lot of people don't know that there are a lot of fully funded PhD programs in the UK, that's United Kingdom, okay? So definitely I would say, if you want to study PhD, think of UK. Now, what's the good side? UK recently, before now, UK does not allow students who studied in UK to stay back and gain work experience. But in recent times, UK have amended their laws around international studies, which they now allow international students, the one I'm very sure of, allow international students to stay back and work for 2 years. Of course, within that 2 years, if you're able to get a company that will retain you permanently, then you can also gain extra years of experience if that is what you want. But at least you are sure that if you finish studying and you want to gain experience in that country, it is very easy for you to do that in the UK, especially for somebody who is studying PhD. PhD is a lot of years, so by the time you finish it, you have 2 more years to work to get experience. Trust me, you'll be able to adapt. Okay, so think of UK. That is my thought. But I just want to explain that it's not just UK. This is similar to what you see in a lot of European countries, right? Like Sweden is a great place. Like Switzerland is a great place to study. So there are other European countries, like Austria, many of these places. But why haven't I really included them? So is because a lot of time they don't have lots of schools, especially those smaller countries. You just see 10 schools, you know, so that gives you a very limited choice. UK has a lot of schools. I'm just talking about the other European countries. Okay, so I have ranked UK third, right? So that's something you should consider, and check it out if you have not been checking UK for your PhD journey, or as a place, as a destination for you to do PhD program. Try it, check it out. There's no harm, right? Okay, now let's go to the third one. What do you think is going to be the third one? Guess. Ooh. Okay. I know you're wondering. Yes, it starts with U and S and A. You know, United States of America ranks number 3. UK is United States of America, that's US for short, is a very great place for you to do your PhD. Why? There are so many schools in the US. So many schools. The schools are so many that you will be tired of searching schools. Right? Like you almost cannot put all the names of schools in one place. Like there are so many schools. So that gives you so many options, right? That gives you so many options. And the PhDs as well, there are a lot of scholarships, like lots and lots of scholarships. This is something that we show you how to find them, right? How to get into, how to find where the scholarships are hidden, because it seems like, well, the scholarships are there but they are hidden. I don't even know why they have to hide them. Okay, so the US is a very interesting place because you have options. And what happens when there are options? A lot of schools start giving you scholarship in order to compete with another school, right? So that competition is in your favor as a student. Okay, that competition is in your favor. So US is a great place. But now, despite the goodies in the US, I have ranked it number 3. It still didn't make the first or the second list, right? Because there are other better countries. There are other better countries, but for the US, if you really want to study in the US, one thing is sure. One, as a student, you can actually study and work part-time, especially on campus. But US have ranked number 3 because I also know that a lot of people who are going abroad to study want to stay back in that country and work, especially so that they get a lot of work experience, so that by the time they are returning to their home country, especially I'm talking specifically for international students, by the time they are returning to their home country, they've not just studied, they have expertise, right? They are able to take over leadership roles in their country, which is a noble thing to do, right? So I definitely suggest that you, wherever you go to study, that you stay back and gain work experience there. For example, I've had there was this particular lady that I know. She went to UK to study something. It was something robotics, electronic robotics or something like that. I've forgotten the name of the course. What happened was, when she finished, that course was hot cake. When she finished studying the course, she immediately returned to Nigeria. She's a Nigerian. She immediately returned to Nigeria. Guess what? It was very difficult for her to find a job in a country that needed that knowledge. In a company that needed that knowledge. Why? The things she went to study, they're advanced. So when she came back, like it seemed like they taught her many advanced things and she was so excited. But coming back, many of the countries that she met, I'm saying companies and countries. Many of the companies that she applied to this job were not doing those, did not require those knowledge. So it is a waste. That kind of education is a waste. Why? Because you have studied and you're not able to implement, you're not able to solve problems with the knowledge that you have. But had this lady stayed back, worked, gotten experience, it is possible for her to return to her home country and do what? Start up her own company, right? And start implementing what she read. So keep that in mind. It's a noble thing to stay back and work, get work experience, because most times what they are teaching in that country is already being practiced in that country. So US has ranked third for me because recently US changed some things about their ability for international students to stay back, and those laws are not really favorable to international students. You can Google it or check it online to understand what were some of the modifications US made to the education system. So a lot of students are now resisting the idea of going to US, right? They're resisting the idea. But still, US made my thought. Why? Because when you finish your study in US, a lot of countries know that, a lot of people in different countries know that US educational system is strong. So when you finish studying from a university in the US, especially if it's a standard university, good university, what happens? It is very easy for you to find job in other high-income countries where you cannot get experience. Of course, there is that tiny portion of chance where you're able to work in the US after your study. But trust me, you also have great potential outside. Like countries like Canada will hire you if you finish from US, right? Even you can easily get jobs in other high-income countries, not just Canada. So US still made it as my third one. So, who made the second? Guess. Who made the second list? I hope you are getting something. So far, 5th position is Germany. 4th position is UK. 3rd position is the US. Who is the 4th? Okay, great. So, the second one is who? I'm sure your guesses is as good as mine. Australia. Alright. So Australia is my number 2. Australia is a great place to study. You know why? you are able to study. First, there are a lot of schools, there are there are lots of scholarships for PhD journey or PhD study. Lots of scholarships, okay? And then what happens too is that if you're able to study in Australia practically allow their students to stay back and be able to work and be able to integrate into the system, right? So Australia is a very good place for you to consider to study. Very, 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 very good place. Very good place. Very Now you'll be wondering, if I say Australia is a very good place, who is there number one? You know, right? My favorite country. My favorite country. My favorite country. So I'm going to double it out. I'm going to... Yes? Guess? 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 Yeah. So I've written it down. So this is it, okay? So this is my favorite. Okay? So my favorite country is what? Canada! I feel like that's like, yeah. Canada is my favorite country, number one. You thought as much, right? You thought as much. So Canada is number one. And I'll tell you why. In Canada, there are lots of schools for you to choose from. Lots of, almost like 99% of the PhDs in Canada are fully funded. Do you know that? They are fully funded. Now, the big thing is that Canada allows students, international students that came to study, to stay back. Like there's a guaranteed route where and you come in as an international student and you're able to get your permanent residency, but also like 2 years to 3 years after that you're able to get your citizenship. Like you will get Canadian passports. That is why I've ranked Canada number one, because there is a lot to do for us to really make a difference when you go to study, especially things as big as PhD. You want to be able to integrate into that country in as much as you want to be able to implement change in your own country, okay? And you want to be able to have that connection. Do you know that a lot of professors, a lot of schools in Canada are looking for people in other countries that they can partner with to be able to do research in your home country? And you being able to do what? You being able to study in Canada will give you the opportunity to become that expert that people from Canada can partner with. I have first-hand experience with this. Okay, I'm a student. I'm currently doing some study in University of Waterloo, but then I had the opportunity to collaborate with people back home to bring researchers from Canada to Nigeria, because I'm originally from Nigeria. So I was able to bring professors, bring funding and everything to my home country for research to be done. You see? So there are lots and lots of opportunity in Canada. Now, let me tell you the big reason why I have made this number my first, right? So this is Canada. Okay, this is why I have made it first, is that this. So Canada has this thing, I'm going to write it. Canada has this thing called express entry. Canada has this thing called express entry. You can check it out. Okay, so what happens is that for express entry, for you to qualify, so people that usually qualify, like you qualify, you join the pool, but people that usually get selected, let me put it that way, are people who have masters or they read professional programs. If you have BSc and you're going for express entry, sorry, you're just wasting your money. Don't worry, I'm going to do some training on that. You can check my page. So people that usually get selected are people who have masters or who have professional degrees like medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, or dental surgery as you call it, veterinary medicine, law, optometry. What's the seventh one? There are 7 of them. Okay, So people, if you have masters or you have any of these professional degrees I mentioned, you will be able to do what? You'll be able to benefit from this express entry. So what I see people do in Canada now is that they came in for PhD, but most times before you go for PhD, you already have a master's. What does that mean? You already qualify for express entry. So as they start PhD program, within the first 1 year to 2 years, yeah, this is N. So as they start their PhD program, within the first 1 year to 2 years, they are able to use their already existing master's degree to apply, or medical degree, or pharmacy, or dentistry, or optometry, or law, you know, or veterinary medicine. They are able to use those degrees to apply for express entry. Get it? See, what happens is that as an international student in Canada doing your PhD, the first year you apply for express entry, right? Which takes you roughly 1 year with a lot of back and forth to get. So in your second year, you become what? Permanent resident. So you use express entry. This is the first one, right? In your second year, you become permanent resident. Sorry, this is too small, but manage. Permanent resident. Okay? This is your second year. So this is first year. This is second year. But usually PhD is 3 to 4 years in Canada. Let's just say 4 years. So let's say we have third year and we have fourth year. So what happens is that when you become permanent resident in your second year, your first year plus your second year gives you equivalent of 1 year in the way Canada counts their permanent residents. Counts there's how they call it, count your stay in Canada in order to give you citizenship, because they need you to stay 3 years. But these 2 years you've spent is equal to 1 year because you didn't have permanent residence. So what now happens is that you are still doing your PhD. Remember, this is PhD first year, PhD second year. Now your PhD third year will count for you as your second year in this thing, and your fourth year will count as third year in how it is counted for you to become a citizen. So what happens is this: as you are first, so you start first year, right, with express entry when you arrive to start your study. In your second year, you become a permanent resident because you will apply for express entry using your master's degree. Okay? Now what happens is that they then count the third year and fourth year for you in such a way that by the time you are graduating, you are also going to be getting citizenship. Okay? So this is 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years. What is counted as 1 year is your first 2 years in Canada, right? So as you are graduating in your fourth year, okay, as you are graduating in your fourth year, you have spent total of 3 years in the way Canada counts it. So you will also be getting your citizenship. So that means that most PhD students, if they are informed, let me tell you, this thing I'm telling you, don't think it is not true, because you probably know somebody that did PhD in Canada and it didn't go that way for them. The reason is this: because that person is not informed. The person does not have the information. Okay? So if you have any reason to doubt this, get in contact with me and I will explain this to you, even one-on-one, or send you links so that you can read. Okay? And I'm not telling you about I'm not telling you what I googled online. I'm telling you reality from students I've worked with, from people that I've worked with here in Canada. Okay? So most informed PhD students in Canada often graduate with citizenship plus PhD certificates. They often graduate with citizenship of Canada and PhD certificate. Isn't that awesome? Now, nobody said that you cannot go back to your home if you want to go back, or that you shouldn't go home and develop your country. But the fact that from your second year you become a permanent resident, and when you are graduating, you're already a citizen. Makes you a global citizen, because do you know that Canadian passport currently give you access to close to 100 countries? I think above 70, I'm sure. Above 70 countries. You can go to those countries without visa. For a lot of people, this is not the norm. Let me tell you something. Have you realized when they say when countries fight to open their borders so that there's free movement of goods and services, what do we say happen? It increases economic growth, right? The same thing happens for you when you have the capacity to move across countries without visa. Your economic your ability to generate economic goodies increases. Okay, so this is extremely very important. This is why none of these countries can compete with Canada for PhD. So right now, if you want to study PhD, think of Canada. Think of Canada. Now, does it mean that you cannot study in any of these countries? You can. You can, because you can, and you can come to Canada to do postdoc, or what they call postdoc, right? But if you have to choose one country at first to start your school search from, choose Canada, and from there you can move to other countries. Isn't that awesome? So I really wanted to think about it, and actually we have a special master class for people that want to do research-based program, like research-based masters and PhD. PhD is usually research-based. So research-based masters, or if you want to do research-based masters or PhD, these two programs are usually on full scholarship. We have a master class that teaches you exactly what to do to be able to get your slot. Okay, to be able to get your slot. Now, I don't want you to feel that this is a walk in the park. It's not true. This is not a walk in the park. Okay, so students who sign up for my master class actually have to do some work. They have to do some school search. They have to reach out to supervisors. They have to do this. Okay, but one thing you have to know is that we are going to tell you, we're going to teach you, we're going to show you how to do it. Our training is usually hands-on. Okay, hands-on. So it's not we teach you then you go and start. No, you start when you start your training. So if you are thinking of starting your PhD journey, I ask you to start today. Okay, start today and take advantage of us. My company's name is Vantage Migration. Okay, my company's name is Vantage Migration. Take advantage of us and learn exactly what to do. Don't stay there thinking that you are all alone, because you are not. I'm here. Me myself, I'm Dr. Linda Iheme, and these things are things that I have done myself. Okay, I was able to get two PhD admissions, one at University of Toronto and one at University of Waterloo. These were schools I applied to all by myself. How did I do it? That is what we teach in the master class. Okay, so boom, this is episode 1. We are bringing 4 more episodes because this PhD series is made up of 5 episodes. Let us drop this one and drop this.
Oh my god.